and he changes things and just to protect what he's got, and that's been a criticism of him. It's a game that England have won regardless, and he'll say the victory is the most important thing. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you'd like to sit there and go, you know, the game needed a bit more control. So where are the players that can do that? Kobe Mainoo, maybe, yes, a bit earlier if need be, but someone like a Cole Palmer who's got that kind of
swagger
and arrogance and say, give me the ball, I'm going to start slow. Like the way Tadic came on for the Serbs, he came on and he was like, give me the ball, I'll be a bit of an outlet for you guys. I'm interested to hear what you said. You played in a team that constantly done that in these type of tournaments where they were winning a game, but also trying to see it out, but on the front foot with the ball and suffocate the opponents with the ball. What's the mindset? How does a manager create that within the team?
Yeah, I think you just say mindset. No, it's all about the mentality. You cannot tell me that players like Trent, like Foden, like Bellingham, like Rice, they don't have the quality to hold the ball anywhere in the pitch. But it's about, do you want it enough to make a difference and hold the ball for your team? Do you want to make things happen? Do you enjoy to get the ball under pressure? Because when England played the best football is when the Serbs, they allowed them to have the ball when they were deep. Once in the second half, straight away, when they started to get pressed a little bit more, we started to see Foden hitting the ball without looking 40 yards. Trent, this is not like them. You'll never see Xavi or Iniesta, the top players in the last 15, 20 years do that. You know, you need to take this responsibility to grow. Yes, I didn't think the second half was a little bit underwhelming. I would say that's the right word, and I think players like Foden, you know, they need to step up. You know, this is the time for them to grow into a big tournament behind the countries behind them, and they need to.
I think it's a blend of that, though. The players, yes, need to take responsibility and show that composure, which we see in club football all the time. But I think also that the structure of the team needs to be able to allow the players to do that as well in these moments. Get yourself further up the pitch, create those spaces in the pockets, the rotations that we saw in the first half. But I agree with what Cesc said there. The big difference is when the pressure was put onto the England team, they didn't respond in a real positive manner.
Yeah, they did win though.
Well,
let's hear from the England captain, Harry Kane. He's with Kelly Summers.
Harry, congratulations. Sweet Caroline is booming around this stadium. Off to a winning start. Was that all tonight was about?
Yeah, 100%. We knew it was going to be a tough game. Serbia posed some good threats. Very physical with the long balls, relying on second balls, and I thought we dealt with it overall really well. There was a spell in the first half where we got camped in our box a little bit and we found it difficult to get out, but overall I think we deserved the win, and it's in the group, like I touched on before, it's just about getting through, so it's an important win tonight.
You were so dominant in that first half. What do you feel changed in the second?
Yeah, I think they changed their pressure a little bit. They went almost man for man, and we couldn't quite keep the ball well enough, but it's a tough game. They're a good team. They have some really good players. They have a good structure, physical, they make it a battle. But we stood up to it well. A clean sheet in any game is important, and it's good that we got one today.
Jude Bellingham will get the headlines once again. What a performance and a goal from him. What's it like playing with him at the moment?
Yeah, unbelievable player. You know, he deserves all the praise he's getting at the moment. Just the way he plays, the confidence he plays with, and also the way he affects games. You know, it's important for people who play in his position to get goals and assists, and that's what he does. It's a great run into the box, and he finished it off nicely.
Nearly got that goal in the second half. There's been so much talk about England's new look attack and who's going to play around you. How does it affect you, how the attack plays around you now?
Yeah, I think each game will be different. You know, today I probably stayed a little bit higher, allowed, because they like to defend man for man, I wanted to keep them deep so Jude and Phil could play in the pockets, Trent as well on the right side. So I think each game will be different. Sometimes you'll see me drop in, sometimes playing higher up. But I think today for me was more about, you know, holding the ball up, especially in that second half, winning fouls, and trying to see the game out like we did.
Well done tonight, Harry.
Cheers, thank you.
Interesting words from Harry Kane. England didn't win their opening game at their first 9 European Championships, but have done so in their 2 Euros under Gareth Southgate and sit top of Group C. They will qualify for the last 16 if they beat Denmark in Frankfurt on Thursday, a game you can see live on BBC One. Serbia sit bottom with their next match against Slovenia. Harry Kane there talked about Jude Bellingham, and he became only the second player to score at both the Euros and the World Cup before turning 21. I know. The other was also English, a certain Michael Owen doing so at France in '98 and Euro 2000. He makes things happen. He's the headline maker. He's the
There's no breaking in the way he even talks, like his speech, his everything, the way he delivers everything. There's a supreme confidence underneath everything that he's kind of putting out there, and that is a long may that continue in this tournament.
Football's the easy part.
Yeah, it ain't, not in my mind.
It is when you play like that. He becomes.
Making them tick sometimes every time they had the ball.
The one thing I love about those clips there, in every phase of midfield, he looks supremely comfortable. Whether he's getting the ball off the back four, whether he's in the midfield driving with the balls on 8, or with a number 10 arriving late in the box, that's a sign of a complete midfielder.
Well, he was sort of playing a 6, 8, 10, the lot, wasn't he, at time?
And that allows the others to be able to, like Cesc said before, that allows him to complement the other players around him as well, because he's so comfortable in moving around them areas. But as I said, if he's the one getting on the end of things in that box for us, I think we've got a huge chance. And if he's given that freedom and continually in the games, then we have a huge chance. As long as he stays fit, I think the only worry coming into this tournament was maybe him being fresh enough. But even in this game today, he looked like a fresh, young 20-year-old that we expected to see. Because I think in England's shirt, in terms of making saves, I think whenever he's been called upon, he produces. Yeah. I just think as a team, we need to really look at the way that we see a game out. There's different ways to see a game out. You can sit back, edge of your box or low block, and just withstand the pressure and see it out that way. But that's panic stations. Like we're sitting here behind the sofa almost watching the game at the end. Not that bad, but
we haven't got
there's another way.
Yeah, we haven't got a sofa.
But there's another way to see a game out is actually being dominant with the ball and taking the onus away from the opposing team by being confident, playing higher, a bit like the way you guys played.
I think as well, my experience now as a manager, my short career as a manager, is that you have 3 chances or 3 ways of doing things right for the team. First, before the game, you can talk tactics, prepare the game, etc. Halftime, make changes or explain the things that need to be better or continue to doing. And then it's the second half, the changes that you propose to the team, because sometimes they cannot hear you. You know how it is to be a player. You know, you're focused. If you send the message that you put a defensive midfielder and a defender extra, you know, to cover the result, you as a player, you feel it, you know, and mentally you start going back and dropping and getting pressure and pressure and pressure. If you instead put an offensive player, a controller like Palmer, let's say, that gets you up the pitch, controls the ball up the pitch in the final third, and you get control in there and you don't get occasions at the back, I think the players will get as well so much more comfortable.
Yeah, that's another criticism that's often levelled at Gareth Southgate, the changes he makes in the second half in games and the impact that may or may not have had. And I think you can see a reflection of how things changed in the game by the average starting positions of the players, Micah.
Yeah, I don't want to be too critical because England have won the game, but we're just talking about the positions. This is in the first half. And then look at the second half, how much they have dropped. Like Cesc says, there's different ways to finish a game and to deal with the game. And I just think panic stations set in. And if we want to go far in this tournament, we've got to be able to deal with the ball in these situations that can move us forward.
And that's where an arrogance comes in. So it's got to be like, give me the ball under pressure. I think it's a great point. The best teams are the ones that take the ball under pressure in the most pressurised situations.
Yeah, for sure.
You've got to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Harry Kane, absolutely. We can hear from one of England's defenders. Terrific performance, I felt. Mark Gahey is with Kelly.
Well, Mark, firstly, congratulations on your tournament debut with England. A clean sheet and a win as well. How did you feel it went?
It went well. It's always very tough in the first game of any tournament. You know, both teams always at it, wanting to get the first 3 points. And I think we did really well. We dealt with their long balls quite well, defended our box. You know, they're a good side. It was a tough test. So, yeah, really proud of the boys today.
Yeah, you talked there about being a tough test. It was a very physical test as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, when you've got Vlahovic and Mitrovic up front, you know, a team full of 6-foot giants in their team, you know, it's always going to be physical. You know, and they can play as well. They're always going to cause threats. But I think we dealt with it well today.
What was that like for you coming into a new look backline as the new player in there to have to deal with such threats?
I've always said it helps when you've got so many experienced players around me. You know, Trips, who's got like 4 tournaments or 5 tournaments under his belt. Stonesy the same, Walks the same, Picks the same. So, you know, I'm coming into a backline with so much experience, and the players in front have got so much experience as well, so it helps a lot for me.
What did change in the second half because England were so dominant in that opening 45 minutes?
You know, you're playing against good players. A tough system to play against as well, to get pressure on. And you're always kind of worrying about the ball in behind and their physical threat. you know, and I think in these games you just have to make sure that you're as solid as possible. You're not always going to play the way you want to play, but it's important that you adapt. And I think we adapted well today.
Yeah, you got the win, but does it maybe need to be better in the next games?
100%. We can always improve. We can always improve, and we'll definitely look to improve. Look at the areas in which we can get better. But you know, it's a good start, and you know, on to the next one.
And for you overall, first few days away on your first major tournament with England, how have you settled in?
Settled in well. I don't really like talking too much about myself. It's more about the team. But yeah, everyone makes everyone feel welcome. It's a good spirit in the camp, and yeah, just glad to be here.
Well done today.
Thank you.
What a delightful young man. So modest, but so impressive.
A joy to watch.
Yeah.
I mentioned him being very calm. Obviously, going to the Euros, it must be daunting at times, but he didn't show it in his game at all.
Keep him in that role, even against maybe the top opposition. When you know, if you're playing against a France or a Germany or a Spain, you know.
I think so. I mean, obviously they have to hold that 30-35 minutes that they've done in the first half and build on that. You know, sit down, analyze, talk individually, collectively, and I think they need to grow from that. They have too much talent to be playing defensive players. I like it that, you know, they have the bravery to go forward like they did in the first 30-35 minutes, build on this and get better, not regress.
The big talking point for me as well today was Phil Foden. I think the first 20 minutes he got into some really good positions.
Yeah.
We need to find a way to get the best out of him.
He wasn't involved much in the game,
He wasn't
really?
involved. At Manchester City, obviously, we know it's choreographed with Pep and the system and the movements and all them sort of things. But it makes me sad when I see a player of this quality just in and out of games.
On the periphery of things.
We need to find a way.
But Micah, I totally agree. But the same way that you see Jude,
yes, exactly.
you know, imposing himself, wanting the ball, getting face to face against an opponent, he owes us this class, you know.
And he's different.
He needs to do that himself as well.
I totally agree with you, but the fact that Jude in the centre of the park, he can do that. When Foden's with the ball,
Phil is playing in midfield.
Yeah, but off the ball, he's coming from a wide position. Yeah. It's very difficult when Jude's got the freedom of the pitch and Phil's having to go from pressing out wide to come in midfield. The ball's not coming. He's playing with Trippier, who is right-footed. He needs Shaw to go and overlap so he can get them combinations. It's just sad to see because this season he's been immense. He's been immense.
Yes.
Watch Man City every other week, and the stuff that he's doing for Man City, we need to see it in
I love that you try to defend him. Seriously, I get your point totally, but a player of this class, a player of this level, of this talent, for me sometimes doesn't even need to be told by the coach what he needs to do. He needs to want it more than the rest. And for me today, it showed that Jude is a little bit above him in this regard, and he needs to get this personality back and do what he does in Manchester City.
Do you know what, Cesc? I think Jude has come into this team and said, and his body language has said to everybody, give me the ball or I will go nuts. You'll be told, give me the ball now. Like, that's his attitude. And I think Phil's is a little bit kind of seen that, and he's like almost like his personality isn't that, and he's allowing somebody else to come in and be the dominant figure in this team. And I agree. I think Phil should be saying, no. But, you give me the ball. And his positions he takes up, he's aggressive, running off the ball to demand the ball will determine whether you get the ball or not. It's not about someone's personality off the pitch who's a quiet guy, and that's just him. Scholesy was the most quietest man I played with, but on the pitch, his persona, his quality, but also the way he demanded the ball, the positions he took up, meant you have to give him the ball.
It's interesting you mentioned Paul Scholes, though, because you go back to kind of your era when Scholes was kind of forced to play on the left-hand side and Sven-Göran Eriksson. That didn't really work either, did it?
It didn't work at all. You know, 4-4-2 system at the time.
Do you think do you think he's like a fish out of water
it's a conundrum. I totally agree with Cesc. At this moment, Bellingham smells it, he feels it, he's drafting the opportunity to be the main man. But with the quality of Foden, it's just disappointing that we're not being able to get the best out of him. He played in the number 10 role in the Iceland game. He didn't play very well, but I would like to get more opportunities in that role.
All players have dips in form. It can go, things change, a little bit of a spark, a little bit of magic. Let's get the England manager's view. Here's Gareth Southgate with Kelly.
Well, Gareth, 3 points on the opening game is exactly what you wanted, but was that a little bit less comfortable in the end than you'd have liked?
well, than we'd have liked, but that's the reality of tournaments. You know, they're a strong team. We had to suffer a bit, which I think is really good for us. You know, to come through and defend our box the way we did under pressure is important for the group. We obviously had good chances to extend the lead and to kill the game, which we didn't manage to take. So I was really pleased with a lot of the play, especially the first half. I thought we used the ball really well. Second half, we didn't keep it quite as well as we need to, but to get the win and the start that we have is really important.
Jude Bellingham will get the headlines once again for scoring the winner and his overall performance. You said before the game that you wanted to see him make those runs into the box. Did we see exactly what he can do for England tonight?
Yeah, of course. I mean, he writes his own scripts, doesn't he? He just you know, the timing of his runs. It was a super bit of play in the build-up to the goal as well. And I thought at different moments all of our forward players looked dangerous. Did a really good job for the team.
How do you get them then to score more goals to kill those games off earlier?
Well, today was just the finishing, you know, and a good save from the goalkeeper from the header towards the end. But that will come, you know. I'm confident we'll score goals. We, you know, playing against the back five, it's not easy to create chances, but we did, and you know, in the end, one was enough. And as I said, I like the fact that we had to suffer a bit without the ball, because I think that's an area of the game we've worked on a lot this week, and we were obviously so much better than we were last week with doing that.
Trent Alexander-Arnold had almost 70 minutes in midfield. How did you feel that went, and in particular how it went when the game changed in that second half?
Well, good. I mean, I have to say, you know, he's been really diligent in getting his positioning right, balancing off. Obviously, Jude goes forward a lot, so I thought Trent adapted and adjusted to his positioning really well. Used the ball well, obviously had a really good effort on goal. In the end, we wanted some fresh legs in there, and Connor obviously can get to the ball quickly, and we've got a squad and we need to use it.
Thanks for your time.
What do you make of what he said?
Yeah, I think when he watches it, he might have a little bit of a different bit of feedback for us on that. I think, listen, I think the way that we reacted second half to a bit of pressure on our team, I think he wouldn't be completely happy with that, and I think he'd want us to kind of react in a more positive way with the ball and play a bit higher and be more aggressive and try and control the game for larger parts. But I understand it's the first game. There is going to be problems and issues and the stuff you've got to iron out, and that hopefully happens in the next couple of games.
We're only talking like this because we've got so much faith in the young squad that we have. You know, we're talking like England have lost the game.
The fact that we want more when England have won a game is probably quite a good sign in a way.
Exactly that. It's just when you've got this array of talent, you want them to come out here, bring the club form to international level, and it's not always easy. You'll know that. You've said it was hard, and then you got into the team, and you played well. You started winning things. It's not easy to translate from club to country. I get that, but we've got an array of talent now where we've got a real chance. I said yesterday that in terms of individual quality, I think England have the best squad, but I just don't feel we're the best team at this moment. So that's where the frustration comes from.
And in a tournament, you can grow into it, can't you, Cesc, as well? And if you were in Gareth Southgate's shoes now, what would you be thinking, looking ahead to the Denmark game on Thursday, and what would you like to kind of tell his players about? What should he be doing?
I'd be thinking that, you know, there are many, many positive things that we have to look at, that we have to analyze and we have to get better at. But as I said, and maintain my position on what I said before, I could grow on what we are building, especially on those 30-35 minutes, and get better. Okay, I know that dominate 90 minutes is impossible, basically, nowadays in football. Everyone studies everyone. The line is very, very thin. Once you drop, you make a change. Anything can change and happen. But, you know, I could go even more bold, you know, like you said before the game. Even now, you say, okay, that's not being greedy or trying to be too smart. But, okay, it worked. Try to stay the same, but think even a little bit more positive. Be a little bit braver even, because you've got the talent. When I see players of this caliber, of this talent, of this quality, I get excited because I say I want more and I want to see more. And I'm not saying it to say. I generally think that this team is capable to play at another level and do very well in this tournament.
Yeah. They won. 3 points.
Yeah, and as I said, where we're talking about this, it might seem like a bit of a negative mood, but it's just because we expect, like Micah was saying, we expect and we want so much more, and we're fans and we want to be successful and we want to win the trophy. But
You've humbled yourself, haven't you?
Yeah, yeah. I went 3-0 early, easy, cigar out, chilling, but reality kicks in, and it is realism to this, is that it's going to be tough. There are going to be difficult moments, but I think we have got the players who can actually ride out those moments, and we've just got to put ourselves in a good position now. Take the 3 points. We've won the game. Delighted.
OK, a good way to finish. It's just starting to rain, so it's good timing. England not quite on song, but they're off to a winning start thanks to, hey, Bellingham.
Preparation has been amazing. There's only one thing on our mind tonight, and that's the win.
The right mentality, the right emotional approach, especially the first game, is hugely important.